Shilpa Kannan in Bangalore there. Well, as the companies we saw in Shilpa's report and many others in India build new factories, they'll need millions of skilled workers. But the lack of people with the right skills is one of the biggest complaints you'll hear from anyone running a business here. The government has set an ambitious goal to give 500 million people skills training in the next 5 to 6 years to try and meet industry demand. But how can they achieve that target? I met the country's Skill Development and Entrepreneurship Minister Rajiv Pratap Rudy and began by asking him just that.
It is a huge challenge. When you talk about the numbers, it looks a huge number. And on the other hand, the government is planning huge investments, huge Make in India, Startup India. All these campaigns require huge manpower, trained manpower. So the biggest challenge was to give a framework how skilling has to take place, and now that structure has been created under the National Skills Qualification Framework and through respective industry bodies called the Sector Skill Councils, who create the curriculum or the qualification packs for a training.
You said that industry should play a big role in skilling. What exactly do you want to see business do?
Industry could always make a noise and say that we don't get the exact manpower or the requisite manpower. They don't want very qualified people. They want people who are job attuned, who can actually do the jobs which they are meant for. But our skilling process or our training process did not cater for that. So possibly industry bodies which are headed by the industry who decide the curriculum and the structure of training is possibly the biggest engagement which is taking place.
India wants to take China's place in the world. China produces 10 times as many skilled workers, and the government actually pays a large percentage of the fee of the students who go to these training institutes. Is that something India can afford?
Yes, it's a very good point. The resources required are huge, and that's why we are partnering with the industry, we are partnering with the state governments, the central government itself. So we are trying to pool in that resources, because in India, the study reveals that out of every 100 person who has to be trained, 30 can pay for themselves, but 70 has to be paid for. So this, if we are talking about 500 million people, if we take 70%, and that would mean huge amounts. Let's calculate in billions of dollars it would mean.
So is that something India can afford to do? Or how do you plan
to do? We have to do it. There is no question of not doing it, and progressively we have to do it. We may have made a late beginning, but it has to be done. There's no options.
You're also the Minister for Entrepreneurship. India in the past year has become this global hub for startups, attracting billions of dollars of investment. Is there a worry at all from the government side that this may be a space growing too big, too fast?
We don't mind if it grows too big or too fast, as long as it parallelly has resources to create such institutions. Parallelly, if it can grow to create more employment, and parallelly if it can match internationally. So all this should not be a problem. US and UK and China has huge startups.
The one thing that's often said about India is that although it's become this big hub for entrepreneurship, do you see as much innovation coming out of here? It's a lot of copying what has already been done in other countries.
Yes and no, because our education system did not promote entrepreneurship or incubation, or for that matter, research in that. Possibly in the higher research end, we do have something which is, but maybe at the level which you're talking about, innovations has actually not taken off. And I would not actually agree that it's more of a copy. There are many more, and most of those inventions which take place, whether it's on the soft skills or the hard skills, are those who move out from India and get based in Silicon Valley. So it would not be fair to say that they are not good. We are actually very good.
Skill Development and Entrepreneurship Minister Rajiv Pratap Rudy speaking to me earlier. Now, India is the world's second largest market for mobile phones, and with more and more of these